And it was a very interesting week at the Bristol Dirt track. Poor Daniel Chaney, everybody. Just give him a little bit of sympathy. We don't really know how this episode's going to go, but me and Jay are going to try to be supportive.
We're going to try and bring the positivity for him. You know what
I
I'm saying?
make no promises, guys. I make no promises.
Oh, man. Welcome back to the Indy Boys Racing Podcast. If you're joining us, this is an interesting episode to start off on. Daniel's going to be really sad today. My name is Tristan Grider, joined with, as always, my incredible co-hosts, Daniel Chaney, Justin Cox. How are we doing today, boys?
Daniel, you want to go first?
Let's see. If I see, we were gonna record this a day later. I might have had a day to process what happened last night at Bristol, but
you get it to do it immediate.
I'm doing okay. Last night, not sure. I went to bed a sad boy.
Oof.
I will say that.
I feel that.
Oh, man. Jay, how you doing today, man?
Shoot, I'm doing all right, man. I'm just chilling. I was kind of bummed because Reddick was my pick, and that would have been a point towards me. But you know, things happen.
You were
things
bummed.
change.
You were bummed.
Yeah. How you doing though, Tristan? How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I really enjoyed Bristol Dirt yesterday. I wish it wouldn't have rained as much.
Yeah.
As rain on dirt turns into a mud race. So we'll talk about if Bristol Dirt's going to happen again next year or not. But I honestly really enjoyed the race last week. But, we can talk all about that in our next segment. Let's go ahead and transition. Let's talk about Motorsport Media. All right, let's go ahead and start with our news for the week as, well, I guess we're going to talk about Talladega's this week in the NASCAR Cup Series and in the Xfinity and in the trucks. So it's going to be a very interesting week. Noah Gragson and Wendy's are going to team up for Talladega. That's like so cool. The scheme is incredible.
Love that scheme.
Literally, it's beautiful. Red, white, and blue. The Wendy's colors. It is gorgeous. Gorgeous scheme. This one is really cool. This is cool. Larry McReynolds is going to be the crew chief for Jeffrey Earnhardt in the 3 at Talladega.
Love that.
It just keeps getting better.
And better.
Oh, man. The only thing that would make it better is if that 3 has a great run. That's all I'm saying. Jeffrey Earnhardt, not terrible on super speedways, so would love to see him do well.
Man.
Dale Jr. is going to be in the booth at Talladega with Mike Joy and Clinton Boyer for the Cup Series. Love to see it. Interested how that contract worked out as he's an NBC guy. So, I mean, maybe just NASCAR itself.
Fox needs help. Fox needs help.
They need Daniel Jr. in the booth all the time, for real. This is a really cool announcement. Chandler Smith is going to be in 3 races for Sam Hunt Racing in the NASCAR Xfinity Series throughout the season. His debut is going to be this weekend at Talladega, but he's also going to do Dover and Homestead. So, cool for Chandler Smith. I could see him running full-time in that Sam Hunt car next season. He's having a very consistent year so far in KB. And then a couple other little announcements. David Reagan's going to return to Rick Way Racing at Talladega in the 15. And Greg Biffle and NY Racing are going to be making a start at Talladega. The only true part-time team this season, still going part-time. I mean, of course, there's one-off teams. I guess you could say Beard Motorsports is a part-time team. The Money Team Racing is a part-time.
Team Hezemans?
Yeah, Team Hezeberg. But in my opinion, so far this year, NY Racing has been the part-time team, as they aren't running every race, but they've ran over half of them so far.
Yeah,
and it's incredible to see Greg Biffle back in the Cup Series. And I
love
love
Biff.
We love.
All right, let's go ahead and transition. Daniel, what's going on over in IndyCar? We got a big announcement over.
Okay, so in IndyCar we've got a small announcement and then a potentially big one. So the small announcement has to do with Nashville. So we all know Nashville's a very chaotic race, so we thought they were going to change up the track a bit. They're not. But instead of the restart zone being different from the start-finish line, the restart zone will now be on the bridge for the regular start-finish line.
Yes!
Which is a major solution to one of the problems that they had. It doesn't solve all the problems.
You all right over there, Jay?
Oh, God, that's the one thing I complained about last year. I'm glad they changed it.
So they changed that. We'll see if that affects if the race is any better. I know they can't promise that, but we shall see. And then the second bit of news, I don't know how big of news this is because it hasn't happened yet, But on the 19th, which is, as of we're recording it, is tomorrow, Beretta Autosports is going to make an announcement about their 2022 plans. Now, the rumors that have been speculated over the past week is that, unfortunately, this is not a plan to be the 33rd car for the Indy 500.
Sad.
Which
Rip.
is what everyone expects, just because that's typically what people do for their part-time cars. But instead, it is presumably a part-time road course schedule that I believe is expected to be about 3 races, probably towards the end of the season, if I had to guess. And the driver is expected to be, I'm saying expected because we can't confirm it because it hasn't happened yet. It is expected to be Simona Di Silvestro returning to Beretta Autosports. I don't know if this would just be their own effort. I don't know if it would be kind of combining with another team. I know teams like Ed Carpenter Racing that have a third car for just the ovals could potentially help out with a road course or street course car, whatever they decide to run. Maybe Hunkos Hollinger, that they have 2 cars because of the Carlin deal from this past off season. I don't know. It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure by now you guys will have seen it when this podcast comes out. But as of right now, we don't fully know what it is. So we will have to see, and we will keep you updated.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, and I am a little sad that we aren't going to have a guaranteed 33rd car already, and still waiting for that final announcement. Jay, obviously, today, Jay actually texted us and was like, Marco's the 33rd entry! And no, he was already confirmed.
I didn't know that. I was like,
yeah.
yes. I was like, yes, it happened. And then you guys were like, no, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, because he's been announced to run the 500 since the beginning of the year. But
yeah, I think about a month or so ago they announced the partnership with the sponsor, but today was just a livery reveal.
Yeah.
Which I think is a pretty sick looking car.
It's pretty sexy. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not the greatest car I've ever seen, but it's pretty good.
I like it. I might get that diecast. I kind of like it. Yeah. But all right, let's go. Jay, what's going on over in F1?
All right. There's not like really any big news like that's what Daniel and Tristan have had to say, but I did see a nice little article. F1 is expected to sell out every race this scheduled year. The Australian GP 2 weeks ago saw a record attendance of 420,000 people, if not more. I'm not sure. That's just what the number I had. The Silverstone or British GP has already sold out in the shortest amount of time in the race's history, with 142,000 people set to attend. Imola has already seen ticket sales well into the 100,000s and is expected to be sold out later this week, and that race is this coming weekend. So, and hopefully the trend will continue. So, yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got over here for F1. I just thought that was pretty fun little factoid to throw at you guys. So, yeah.
Very nice, very nice. All right, let's go ahead and let's talk all about Bristol Dirt, baby, because it's Bristol Dirt, baby. Guess we could start with trucks. Give Daniel a little bit of leeway first.
Let's please start with trucks.
Truck series. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how y'all felt about this race. I was kind of bored during the truck race. I did not really enjoy it that much. I kind of was bored. I watched the whole thing, but I was just like, I don't know. Just wasn't my favorite kind of racing throughout the year. The ending was cool because I was cheering for Hocevar, but throughout the first couple stages, I mean, just wasn't my favorite. Rhodes was pretty dominant throughout this race, and I don't know. Whenever it's nothing against Ben Rhodes. He's a champion, but every time I feel like he wins a race, it's kind of like a boring a boring race, and I'm like,
yeah.
The most interesting part of this race itself was that Matt DiBenedetto and Austin Wayne Self's cars got stuck together. It looked like they were tandeming around the dirt track, but in reality, DiBenedetto made a terrible move, and it caused his rear bumper and Self's grill to get attached.
Yeah, because a part of the rear bumper was broken from contact or something, and it latched into the grill.
Yeah.
It literally connected like it was a Lego piece or something. I don't know, and it was really funny, like listening to the commentators, because they were like, "Oh wait, Austin Wayne Self was given a big push. He's still pushing. I think they're stuck." Like,
And then Kurt Busch is like, I've never seen that. Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
I've never
like
seen it either. Honestly, Daniel, it looked like the old two-car tandem days of like 2010,
Man.
2011.
Yeah, I
and
like
it
Talladega
was like,
and Daytona. Yeah,
yeah, man.
that was crazy.
But it was just crazy. That was the last two-car tandem days were the early 2010s. But, it was interesting. Ben Rhodes stole it from Carson Hocevar, giving himself his first win of the season, dominating fashion for Ben Rhodes. Honestly, probably deserved to win this race. So good for Ben. Swept
mad
the
'cause
stages.
I was honestly gonna choose Ben Rhodes, but like, I
yeah,
ended up
because we
choosing
haven't
Derek
we haven't
Kraus.
chosen him in a while.
Yeah.
Runner up on dirt last season. He's just kind of solid on it. And overall, I mean, Ben Rhodes is the champion. He's the defending champion. So I mean, it was kind of a given that he was going to get a win this season.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in the best. Toyota is very dominant in the truck series.
Definitely.
So I'd say that ThorSport is probably if top tier, if not just below top tier equipment
Yeah.
in the truck series.
Like, I think on that restart, I think everybody was just like, okay, it's gonna be Ben Rhodes, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Ben Rhodes just like he's just all around really good.
Yeah.
Like,
he is.
Yeah.
He can go
And
to
when
any
you've been
race
in-
and win it.
when you've been driving in the truck series for as long as he has, and the thing is, man, he's only like, what is he like 23, 25?
I think
He's-
so.
And he's been running
Yeah,
trucks for
he's-
7 full-time seasons. And it's
He's
like,
pretty young.
it's incredible. I'll just read this top 10 really quick. Ben Rhodes gets the win, sweeps all the stages. Carson Hocevar brings it home second, his best finish of the season. His win's coming. It's coming. Third was John Hunter Nemechek continues a consistent year. Fourth place, Parker Kligerman. It's coming. I mean, I really thought Parker was gonna get this win, honestly.
Love that.
Rounding out the top 5, Christian Eckes. 6th place and 7th place were a couple of Cup Series regulars, Joey Logano and Chase Elliott. 9th place went to Grant Enfinger. 10th, Matt Crafton. And rounding out the top 10 was good old Mr. Reliable this season in the Truck Series, Zane Smith. Just missing outside the top 10, a couple of notables. Stuart Friesen brought it home 11th. Chase Purdy brought it home 13th, his best finish of the year so far. Austin Dillon brought it home 14th. He was in the 20 truck this weekend. Haley Deegan brought it home 18th. And then a couple guys that underperformed, in my opinion. Lawless Allen brought it home 30th. Kind of disappointing run for him in that Nice Motorsports equipment, as he is a dirt track guy. So, Buddy Kofoid got involved in an accident, and if he wouldn't have been involved in this accident, Buddy Kofoid was going to win. I'm just letting you know.
Who's having a
He
good
said
day?
he was
He-
gonna win this race.
It's kind of like how Suarez was last week, a couple weeks ago at Coda.
Oh yeah.
Buddy
Yeah.
Kofoid, he reminds me a lot of a young Kyle Larson, and
dang.
I can honestly see Buddy Kofoid being something in the Cup Series, and
Because he was in a KBM truck, wasn't he?
yeah, he was in the 51,
51, yeah.
and
So yeah.
that 51, in my opinion, the 51 is the best truck out there every single weekend,
Yeah.
and
He just needs the driver.
they had that
Right.
thing tuned. They had that thing tuned up, and they had the right driver in there. But good run for him. And then a couple guys that were near the back that are in playoff contention. The 31st position went to Tyler Ankrum in the 16. Then 35th and 36th were Matt DiBenedetto and Austin Wayne Self. There was no eliminations in this race. No one retired.
Everybody looked really good. I mean, you had so many cars like honestly looking like they could win the race,
Yeah.
but just in the end, like
Ben Rhodes was just, his truck was just better than anybody else's right there at the end.
they all got Ben Rhodes. Like,
Yeah, for real.
like, I mean, and to quote Ben Rhodes from his drunk post-championship interview, "Ain't gonna happen, Mama Jamma."
Ain't gonna happen.
I'm
man.
sorry if you're in the front and Ben Rhodes is like in the top 5 on a restart, like
You might
it
not
ain't
win.
gonna
Good
happen.
luck. Like, good
It
luck.
ain't
homie.
gonna happen,
You might
Mama
not
Jamma.
win.
Like,
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and go over to the Cup Series.
do we have to? Do we have to?
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
It's
Do we
worth
have
the show.
to?
Yes,
Are you sure?
Daniel. Yes.
There was a lot of. We'll just start this off with the rain. A lot of rain. It rained an hour before the race, And NASCAR made the bold decision not to delay this race and just to let the cars go out there. Cole Custer took the pole this week, and after they did one lap, it reminded me a lot, honestly, of last year's truck race.
Mm-hmm.
Grills got mudded up. The windshields were muddy. It wasn't as bad, but those cars were pretty caked up, and it ruined Cole Custer's day. And he ended up going 5 laps down, I believe. He recovered. He recovered because he ended up getting a top 15.
Oh,
but
wow.
that was mostly just because there were so many cautions in this race.
Yeah.
Larson dominated stage 1, as we expect him to. It's Kyle Larson on a dirt track. Makes sense. Chase Briscoe won stage 2, as we expect. Chase Briscoe's great at dirt.
Yeah.
It's a short track. It's a dirt track.
Indy Boys.
Then the rain came again. And before we talk about the debate in the scoring system, wasn't it so refreshing to have Darrell Waltrip, Larry McReynolds, and Mike Joy together again in the booth?
Yeah. I saw the tweet from our Twitter page, and I was just like, I love this. This is my childhood.
The good old days.
This is my childhood.
This was just, it was honestly, it was great. To hear boogity, boogity, boogity come into the start of this race, I shed a tear, honestly. It was beautiful to see.
Unfortunately, it didn't last long because as much as we had the 3 of them together, we also had to deal with about every 5 laps. My name's Clint Boyer, and you know I look like a Larson kid. He's not awful. It's just like he's trying to tone himself up.
He's Clint Boyer. He's like Clint is trying to be.
If he left it at like the regular amount of Clint Boyer, it would be fine. But he's already trying to tone up the amount of Clint Boyer he already is.
He's being too quirky with it.
That's an overload. Like, I'm sorry. If you're yourself and just being normal, I can handle that because you're a pretty likable, fun guy.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to outdo your like already overload of quirkiness, it's just like a little bit too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, But it was nice to see those 3 back together. Now here comes the controversy with the scoring. NASCAR announced that there would not be live pit stops or stage breaks for this Bristol Dirt race.
Yeah.
After stage 2, Chase Briscoe, Christopher Bell, Daniel Suarez all came down pit road to get gas and get new tires and all that fun stuff. Then the rain came, and they went back out on the track. Now, the drivers were misunderstood the fact that why was Chase Briscoe, who just pitted, still leading the race if everyone else had passed him on the track? And it honestly took about 10, 20 minutes for NASCAR to give an example. And it kind of seems like they kind of made up a rule, and drivers were visibly confused, and some were kind of pissed off. Denny Hamilton was very active on Twitter. Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick. A lot of drivers were just not very happy with the way that NASCAR treated that. And honestly, as a fan, I was just very confused, and I wish that they would stop making up rules. And I think the only solution that we can do here is to put Jeff Gordon in the chase. So, and thank you. But yeah, after the rain came controversy scoring, Tyler Reddick started dominating this race.
Yeah, baby.
It was really cool. The 2 cars that were really dominant through this race, I guess you could put 3 there, were Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, and Kyle Busch. It seemed like they were the top 3 for the remainder of this race. Then we had another rain delay, and just kind of like a shower. It wasn't really anything. Getting back to green about 5 minutes later.
It was bad for a little bit, but it picked up pretty quickly.
Then coming to 5 laps to go, Tyler Reddick is kind of slowing. Chase Briscoe is getting really good on the track. And Daniel, I don't know what to tell you, man. There was no way that Chase Briscoe was not gonna catch Tyler Reddick.
I know.
It was going to happen. It was inevitable. I honestly thought he was gonna catch him a couple laps early. Going into the final,
the thing about it is Tyler Reddick would be really crappy on turns 1 and 2, and Briscoe would be really good on turns 1 and 2. Then they'd get to turns 3 and 4, and Tyler Reddick would be really good on turns 3 and 4,
Facts.
and Chase Briscoe would be really bad on turns 3 and 4. So it was like this back and forth of like a will he, won't he, and the commentators the entire time are like, like he might catch up to him, but there's no way at this pace with how little time is left that he's going to get past him, because it was already proven it was very hard to pass in this race, which is part of the reason why like most of this race wasn't super entertaining. Because there just wasn't a lot of passing going on. And when there was, it was typically because there was either like lap traffic or people were just wrecking, unfortunately. And so like it just got to this point where it was like he's clearly not going to pass him unless something happens.
Yeah.
And,
and it happened.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Something happened.
Chase Briscoe sends it into the corner. Coming out of turn number 4, loses control of his car in the dirt, slides up into Tyler Reddick's car, spinning them both around. Tyler does a 360 like David Pearson in the 1976 Daytona 500.
And he caught himself.
Did catch himself,
Yeah.
but the car stalled and was not able to get back to full speed.
And
Kyle Busch comes around turn 4 and backs in to his 60th career win in the NASCAR Cup Series.
He said back.
No, and even I saw this on Twitter and I retweeted it, and it was, "Hey Kyle Busch, just wanted to know, does this classify as you backing into a win? Just want to know if it happened to you." And he goes, "Hi, nice to see you, Steph. Yes, I did back into this win, KFB," and it made me laugh. And
well, people are forgetting though. He did apologize for saying that about a Bowman though.
yeah,
Or
but it
they
was
talked about it or whatever. But
yeah,
Right.
and I mean, I feel for Daniel a little bit, but at least his son this weekend. So, I mean,
It was
he's like,
it's really
"Shut up."
conflicting because my favorite driver got wrecked by like my 5th favorite driver, and then my like 2nd or 3rd favorite driver won, which like I should be happy about, but I was too busy being like, "Oh my god,
It happened
How-
again.
now
How
you
does
know
this
how
keep
I felt
happening?
after Indy Roval last year.
Now you know how everyone felt that's a Daniel Hemrick fan every race ever.
Also, you want to know what I thought about Chase Briscoe in both races that he wrecked Reddick and Hamlin? Same sponsor.
High Point.
Yeah, High Point is
Oh,
not his
wow.
primary sponsor this year,
Yeah.
and he hasn't done it. And he puts the High Point like wrap back on, and he does it again.
Well, if he has that
You
High Point
know-
sponsor on the car, we need to be watching out for him. That's all I know.
Dude,
But I
if he's
will
got a
say,
High Point thing, you
that
better
High
be
Point-
waiting
that
for him to
High
get too
Point car-
high on a point. Like
That High Point car was gorgeous this weekend.
it was
That
good
fucking car.
looking, but
Definitely.
it was a target. Like
Let's go ahead and
the entire it's Hawkeye. I don't.
It's Hawkeye.
Dude, I don't know. I'm so conflicted with this race because it wasn't an awful race. It was kind of a mid race with like good stuff happening, and like I'm happy with the winner, but I would have been more happy if there was a different winner. And like there's just so much happening in like a span of so little time, and I didn't have enough time to process it because it was like almost 11 p.m. at night, and I was tired and sleep deprived, and and all I have to say about Kyle Busch winning this race, it's a Mickey Mouse win. I don't care. I like Kyle Busch, but that is a Mickey Mouse win.
This
Okay,
is
rant is
Daniel.
over, I promise.
Daniel is venting to everyone right now.
We have had that pent up since 11 p.m. last night.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I guess let's read the top 10. Kyle
Let's not. Let's not do it.
Kyle Busch takes it home.
Holy
First win, 60th career win, 18th straight season with win, tying Richard Petty. Second place was Tyler Reddick. Third place, Joey Logano. Scary on dirt, man. Fourth place, Kyle Larson. Fifth place, Ryan Blaney. Sixth place was Alex Bowman. Seventh, Christopher Bell. Eighth place, Chase Elliott. Ninth place went to Michael McDowell, who was running top 10 the entire night. 10th place was Ty Dillon, his first top 10 in the NASCAR Cup Series in a long time. So, very cool for Ty. Just outside the top 10, Brad Keselowski and Daniel Suarez. A couple other notable guys that I was kind of want to highlight. Chase Briscoe finished 22nd when he ran the race pretty much near the top of the time of the entire race, but he, kind of crashed on the last lap. Josh Williams in his first career Cup start finished 25th for Live Fast Motorsports, so shout out to him. Cody Ware finished 26th, and JJ Yeley finished 30th.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, we're going to talk about it, but Rick Ware Racing, yeah, we're going to talk about that in our next segment, but Rick Ware Racing, I was very impressed with this weekend. JJ Yeley was running top most of this race, but then, involved in an accident pack with Ricky Stenhouse Jr., led to the end of his day, but JJ Yeley, I honestly thought I was going to get a top 10, and very cool for him. Very cool for him. And then we had a couple engine failures this week, but both of them are locked into the playoffs. So as of right now, Ross Chastain finished 3rd, and Denny Hamlin finished 35th. Denny continues. I know he has the win. But Denny continues a very bad season. So yeah.
Bad.
Anyway,
what if Denny Hamlin sucks so bad the rest of the season that he's not in the top 30?
I don't.
Do you think it's possible?
No, that's possible.
It is.
That is
It's definitely possible.
possible.
It's definitely possible. Let me look where he is at in drivers' points right now. In drivers' points right now, Denny Hamlin is 23rd. So, I mean, we saw it last season with Eric Almirola. He snuck into the playoffs. I mean, he'd have to get penalized, really. I don't know.
If he just keeps running like 25th to 20th every race, he should be able to make it. But
I don't know. Yeah, let's go ahead. Anyway, let's go ahead and transition into questions for the next segment. Okay, so very memorable weekend here at Bristol Dirt. Gonna ask you a couple questions about some of the stuff that went down. First things first, we saw a little bit of a rivalry brew at Bristol Dirt between driver the number 51 for Rick Ware Racing, Cody Ware, and driver the 9, 2020 NASCAR Cup Series champion Chase Elliott. These two, Chase Elliott wrecked Cody Ware, drove straight through him, and Cody Ware under caution didn't like what Chase Elliott did and gave him the good old bump and run.
Cody Ware, more like Wody Ware. That's a dub.
Yeah. I just want to know, whose team are you? Team Cody or Team Chase? I'll start with Jay.
Personally, I don't think there was really a good angle of when Chase hit Cody. But all I know is that from whatever angle we do have, Chase did spin Cody. And whether it was intentional or not, that is what it is. And Cody took it as it was intentional. So it could have been. I don't know. But I think I might have to go with Cody Ware on this one. Because, I don't know. I think it'd just be cool. Just to see. And I like that he gave it back. Because he even said on the radio, I think he was like, what did he say? He was like, I'm tired of being bullied by these guys or whatever. And I'm glad that he was like, no, that's not happening. Like, you're not, even if it wasn't not intentional, he still did something about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. He acted on what was brought to him. So that's my opinion. I'm team Cody Ware on this one. So.
Yeah. What about you, Daniel? I think I can already guess.
I know a lot of people are siding with the 2020 champion, but I'm siding with the future 2023 champion. No, but I'm siding with Cody Ware for this one.
Yeah,
I'm siding with Wody Ware.
I'm also gonna side with Cody Ware
because, like, I feel like some of these like bigger drivers, they just get too much of an ego sometimes, and just think they can get away with anything, no matter what driver it is that they're trying to dump or whatever.
Yeah,
and so. You know, Cody Ware basically got dumped, and so he tries to give some payback to Chase. And then Chase just like, "Ayo, who is that?" Like, and they're like, "It's Cody Ware," and he's like, "Who?" Like, you literally tried to wreck him like 3 laps ago. You can't be mad when he's trying to wreck you back, no matter if you like know the guy well or anything. I don't know. It just kind of gave me like a weird entitlement vibe from Chase.
And it's not like Cody Ware hasn't been racing in the Cup Series for the past 4 seasons.
Like I get he's not winning races, but he's been there a decent bit.
And it's not like these guys don't talk to each other in the garage. because they
Right.
do. You see it on television.
Yeah.
Josh Bilicki and Austin Dillon are like really good friends, and Austin Dillon's running top 10 most weeks, and Josh Bilicki's a part-time driver. So like, you know that they're like,
They've at least
you talk to these
conversed-
people.
They've at least
It's like,
conversed somewhat.
yeah, it's like going to
Right.
work. I mean, you see before IndyCar races, these guys all like go out to dinner with each other. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just my little talking there. Now let's talk about the winner this weekend. Kyle Busch has been the most consistent driver for Toyota this season. Does
Doesn't take much.
KFB have a chance at winning the 2022 championship? I'll start with Jay.
For sure. I could see him in there. Like, I definitely don't discredit him whatsoever. Kyle Busch is a great driver. Like, he's done his things in the past, and everybody has their reasons not to like him. But I think he's a great driver. Personally, I think he's a good person, like, outside of racing. Like, so, I mean, but as a driver, I see him up there. He's been the best Toyota out of the entire Toyota camp. So I don't see why he couldn't be a championship favorite. If not, at least he makes it to the final 8. So, yeah, that's all I got to say. So,
Yeah, what do you think, Daniel?
I don't think he's going to be a contender for the championship this year. I think at the beginning of the year, I thought he would be, and he still could be. I could be proven wrong. I really like Kyle Busch. I think he's a very talented driver. I think people don't give him enough credit for how good he actually is.
Yeah.
I think he's arguably in the greatest of all time category.
Facts.
He's
facts.
like he's a dark horse for it. I wouldn't say he's like
He's top 5.
easily.
He's top
Oh yeah,
5.
he's probably top 5.
He's
or at
not
least
probably. He is
or at
top
least
5.
If he's not now, he will be by the end of his career.
yeah.
Facts.
Okay, I can agree with that. Right now,
People
I'm
don't
like,
give him enough credit just because he's the villain, but he owns up to it.
No,
He doesn't shy away from it. He knows that's his role, and
if you're a
he's
fan
like,
of Rowdy,
listen,
let
if
me
it's
hear
gonna
you say boo.
if it's gonna be like, if you're put in that position, you're either gonna ignore it and get more hate for it, or you're gonna acknowledge it and get just as much hate.
Yeah.
He's acknowledging it, and like, I gotta respect it. As much as I was like disappointed that he was the winner at Bristol, I respected it. Like, it's Kyle Busch. When you see someone say Kyle Busch is your NASCAR winner today, like, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. But Toyota's just been yikes. Like,
Really? Actually, I talked about with my friend Mike today. Shout out Mike. We talked about that today actually, and the only 2 like really bad Toyota cars this season have been Bubba and Denny. That's the only 2
Yeah.
like seriously bad Toyota cars. It's not even been the entire Toyota.
Everyone
camp.
else has been kind of consistent. I
Yeah.
mean, and the thing is, like, that 11 and that 23 have been consistently subpar. I mean,
Yeah.
the 18 and the 19 are 6th and 7th in drivers' points right now.
Yeah.
The 20 is top 16 in drivers' points right now. He's 15.
it took him a while. It took him a
It
while.
did
to figure
take
it
He's
out.
him
getting
a
it down
while.
now. Hey, they're getting it down
And-
now though. They're getting
And
it down
Kurt
now.
Busch, who is consistently running top 5 this season, is 20th in points. And having some bad luck recently.
Yeah.
But Denny's 23rd, Bubba Wallace is 22nd. I mean, these guys, I guess you could include Kurt in that group. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to see.
Yeah.
Also kind of another question about Kyle Busch. Does dirt take the sport backwards? Kyle Busch had a lot of words to say about this before his win last night, saying that yes, he believes that dirt does take the sport of NASCAR backwards, quoting Richard Petty in saying it. So I'm going to give you guys that question. Does racing on dirt take the NASCAR Cup Series backwards? We'll start with Jay.
Okay. So I understand why they were going for the dirt, like, and I love it. Like, I did, like, and it's cool, like, and everything. But when you have so many implications on it, such as you have to stop the scoring at the stage ends for non-live competition pit stops, and then rain comes and then that messes up the entire scoring because people don't know where they're at. There's too many implications on it for it to just be a points race. It needs to be an all-star or just a like a beginning of the season regular exhibition race.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That'd be
like
awesome.
it has to be something like that if you have to put so many stipulations on it. Because if you tried to run the Clash in like the points, like you'd have to do so many heats before you could actually get to the actual race, and you would only be able to run 20 people on the track. And not only that, I feel like Bristol Dirt, it's cool in the idea, but the execution of it is really bad in my opinion, because if you look at most dirt cars, they're not big like a NASCAR stock car. And they're more maneuverable than a NASCAR stock car. So it's easier to pass in those cars than a NASCAR stock car. So
Right.
I don't know. Like, it's cool in the idea, and I like the idea of it. I mean, if we go back and try it one more time, I don't think we have yet to see it in its actual entirety because it's rained both times we've been there. If we get to go back there one more time and try it and it doesn't work and we actually get to run the full race, then sure, let's ditch it. But if we get there next year and it just doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm not gonna be mad either way. So, yeah, I don't think it takes the sport backwards. But I can see where you can make that point.
Yeah, I get that. Daniel, what do you think?
It's kind of a yes and no for me.
Yeah, that's
because I don't necessarily think it takes the sport back if it's done properly.
Yeah.
If you do a NASCAR Cup Series dirt race at Eldora, I think it would work. I think it would be a good thing.
Facts.
You do a NASCAR Cup race on dirt at Bristol, while it's not an awful race, I don't think it's ideal, and I don't think it suits the cars or the track quite as well as they want it to. I think it works. It works as kind of like an attraction, but also, yeah, Jay said something about like maybe make it like an exhibition, maybe do it for All-Star Race or the Clash, maybe. I think that's a good take because like I was watching not the sprint races, the heat races with my dad, and my dad was like, "This isn't for points, right?" And I was like, the race are like these heat races because this is just qualifying. He was like, the actual race. I was like, oh, it's for points. And he was like, why?
Yeah, that's what I
like,
said. There's too many implications on the actual race for it to be a points race, in my opinion.
And like you can have
Kevin
those
Harvick's
random...
big argument for it was Kevin. I don't know if you guys have read Kevin Harvick's.
Yeah, I saw it.
Sort of. He destroyed. He trashed it. He was like, I couldn't talk about this last year.
I'm talking about it this year.
It sucks. He was like, this is not good for the sport. This is terrible in every way. And
if they like, because like I was saying, like if they could find a way to make the cars smaller and more maneuverable, it would make more sense to have a NASCAR dirt race on dirt. Now, NASCAR stock car is way too big for dirt, whether it be at Eldora or Knoxville or somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like, the NASCAR stock car is too bulky and too unmaneuverable to actually put on a good dirt race. That's what I'm trying to say. But
honestly, just make an exhibition race, but put them in the trucks. Honestly, because at least the trucks, like we know they like relatively work at dirt. Like,
well, the trucks have been on dirt. That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying.
They know what they're doing at this point. The trucks have gone on dirt twice a year. I mean, Eldora, they go to Knoxville. Yeah. They've been to other dirt tracks. I mean, obviously they've been running Bristol Dirt. They know what they're doing in trucks. They do not know what they're doing in Cup Series, and they got to figure it out.
Put them in the trucks. Make it an exhibition. I like
that'd honestly be cool.
At this point, just like I don't know. There's something about just seeing like those faces that you don't typically see. Like, because I always love it when the Cup Series drivers do like the one-offs in trucks and Xfinity, because it's faces you don't see there all the time, and it's interesting.
Yeah, that's
and you
something that I've loved.
You kind of get to see them in like a weird, like
setting,
kind of out of like not necessarily like out of their like
element,
because like obviously a lot of them have driven in the trucks before, or will at least like consistently do part-time.
Kyle Busch would be running 3 full-time seasons.
Yeah, I know, but he would still do one-offs off like most of the time. So like
no,
it
wasn't one-offs.
No, I'm saying like now, like
I'm saying
NASCAR,
now because NASCAR set a rule on it, dude.
Yeah.
It's called the Kyle Busch rule. You're only allowed to run 5 races outside of your main series.
Yeah.
And so Kyle Busch runs 5 truck races. Like Cole Custer's going to run 5 Xfinity races. Austin Dillon's running like a couple with like trucks and a couple with Xfinity. And like you're only allowed a couple.
I just think we should let the kids race.
I think it's just cool because you get to see NASCAR's young talent against their main talent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean,
that's like the
if
Chase
it's not.
Briscoe 2020, like outrunning, I believe it was Denny Hamlin, at Darlington. Like,
I thought that was Ross Chastain.
nah, that was Chase Briscoe 2020 Xfinity Series.
Oh,
Let's
that was
just have a
2020.
really
No, that was
weird
2020.
race.
My fault. I was thinking.
Let's just have a really
2020.
weird
My fault.
race where we put the Cup cars against the Xfinity cars against the truck
No.
cars and just
No.
watch chaos ensue.
This is not
No.
IMSA.
I do not care. I do not care. I want to watch the world burn.
All right, last question. This is just a quick thing. I want you to name the track that Tyler Reddick's going to get his first career. Start with Jay.
That's hard. Because it could be a lot. Like, because he's a good driver in general, so he could win at any track, in my opinion. Whether it be a road course or super speedway or whatever. Like, I think it'll be. I want to say Michigan, but that's like way too far in the season, and I feel like it's gonna. That's why I know. That's why I'm saying I feel like it's gonna come sooner. So if he gets it sooner, honestly, I feel like he'll win the Coke 600. Honestly.
Okay, could see that. Daniel, what do you think?
Let's see. First pick, Talladega. Second pick, Dover. Third pick, Darlington. I'm just going in order because it's gonna happen one of these weeks. It's gonna happen. I don't care where it is, but it's gonna happen, and it better happen soon.
I'm picking Darlington. I think he gets it done in Throwback Weekend.
I honestly,
yeah.
My realistic
that kind
pick.
of track.
My realistic pick, Kansas. I don't know why.
Yeah, I could see that too.
It'd just be that random Kansas race that's really good.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, Tyler Reddick won.
But yeah, randomly Kansas is just always like really good, and that's why Kansas is a top 5 track for me. And I could see Kansas, Daniel. I could see that happening. All right, let's go ahead and transition. We got predictions. We're going to Italy. We're going to Talladega. Let's do those predictions real quick. Italy. Let's talk about it, Jay.
All right. So we're here at Imola or Emilia Romagna for the Italian Grand Prix, the 2022 edition. I would love to see a great race, and I love this track, and I think pretty much every time F1's gone there in the past, it's been a pretty decent race if there's not been like implications on the cars like such as dirty air. So, but yeah. What are you guys' predictions? What do you think is gonna happen? Who's gonna win? Who's your wild card?
I guess I could go first really quick. It's time to box Lewis.
Wow.
Lewis Hamilton's gonna take the win. I think Lewis takes the win in the Italian GP.
Okay.
My underdog pick, Valtteri Bottas. That's my underdog.
He's going with Bottas. Okay.
Yeah, that's my.
I can see it.
Those are my picks this weekend.
Okay.
Daniel.
First pick, I think Mercedes gets it done, but I think it's with George Russell, because he is very quietly in second place in the standings, and I don't know. I kind of wanted to figure it out so we get a little bit more close race for the championship, and then wild card. It's not a wild card. It's just a second pick, Leclerc. He's just been so freaking good. I think Ferrari is just on their own level. So this far into the season, at least.
Definitely.
It's hard for the other teams to figure out how to kind of match their speed.
I mean, even after Carlos Sainz didn't even like do a complete lap, he's still third in points.
Yeah, I was gonna do that. I was gonna read points before we ended our F1 talk.
Yeah,
but go.
It's crazy.
But yeah. I guess my picks. So the Red Bull's not necessarily set up for downforce, and I feel like this is where the Mercedes can bounce back here because there's only one like really big long main straight where porpoising can really affect the Mercedes in my opinion. So with that being said, I think we're all picking Mercedes this weekend, fellas. I'm going to go with actually George Russell this weekend. I feel like George is gonna get his first win. I hope he does. I love George Russell. He's dope.
First career podium last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, second career, but his first actual like racing. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, George Russell, I feel like he's gonna pick up his first win in Mercedes this coming weekend. And plus we've had a week off for development as well, so that kind of helps maybe for Mercedes figuring some stuff out. But yeah, I feel like this track is probably gonna suit the Mercedes this week. And yeah, and then my wild card, I'm gonna give it to Carlos Sainz this week. I feel like he's gonna be very temperamental about last week, and he's gonna have that in the back of his mind a lot, and that's gonna push him this weekend. So I feel like Carlos Sainz is gonna be my wild card this weekend. So George Russell, Carlos Sainz. So, but then I did want to read the championship standings real quick.
Go right ahead.
Charles Leclerc still first, or Charles Leclerc, however you say it. George Russell second. Carlos Sainz third, Sergio Perez fourth, Lewis Hamilton fifth, Max Verstappen sixth, Esteban Ocon seventh, Lando Norris eighth, Kevin Magnussen still holding it in there. He's ninth, and Valtteri Bottas is 10th. And then the constructors, Ferrari is first, Mercedes second, Red Bull is third, with McLaren just lingering in fourth outside of that. So, yeah. That's everything going into this race weekend. We'll see how things shake up after this weekend. So it'll be interesting, I think. So, yeah. What about take it away, Tristan?
Yeah, let's go racing at the mayhem capital of the world in Talladega, Alabama. So we got 2 races this weekend. We got Xfinity Cup. Go ahead and start with the NASCAR Xfinity Series. We all get 1 pick. My 1 pick. This one's bold. I don't know if y'all are going to agree with me on this one. Ryan Vargas.
Why would I not agree with you on that? I mean, I may not pick him, but I would definitely not disagree with that.
Right.
That's my pick.
Yeah.
Ryan Vargas.
Interesting.
I don't know why. I have a feeling. And my feelings are never
wrong.
Never once. But my you know what? Let's do an underdog. It's Talladega. We have to do an underdog. My underdog pick this weekend. Actually, I will make Ryan Vargas my underdog. Okay. I'll make him my underdog. My true pick. This one's also kind of bold. Going with not someone that wins a whole lot. But he's a former champion. Daniel Hemrick.
I knew you were about to say that.
Those are my picks. Those are my picks this weekend. Hemrick and Vargas. Those are my picks. Right. Daniel, who you got?
First pick. Kind of bold, but if you've been watching the season, also kind of not bold. I'm going Riley Herbst. I think he finally gets it done.
That's a good pick.
We're doing a Dega underdog. Give me Jeremy Clements.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Interesting. The road course veteran might get it done. You never. All right, Jay.
Okay, so I'm still kind of deciding, but I think I've kind of made up my mind. For my first pick, it's between the 2 main RCR guys. So I think I'm going to go with Sheldon Creed as who I'm feeling to win this race this weekend. But my underdog is also RCR. You know what I'm talking about?
I know where you're going with this.
I know where you're going with this.
Yes, sir. Number 3, bub.
Number 3.
I feel like Jeffrey Earnhardt's going to drive his ass off this weekend.
Oh, I know. You know he is.
So I feel like he's going to be making some smart moves, especially with being an RCR equipment. So I would love to see the 3 get back in victory lane, at least in the Xfinity Series. So
and at Talladega.
Yeah. At Talladega.
With Larry
Jeffrey
McReynolds.
Earnhardt and Larry McReynolds, yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's going to be great. That'll be great.
Andy Petrie, that whole team.
Yeah. It'll be great. I just hope
beautiful. Richard Childress.
I just hope Jeffrey stays out of trouble and he can get that thing to the end and hopefully at least top 5. You know what I'm saying?
He's got to watch out for Drew Dollar. So, we don't want to have the Drew Dollar experience. All right, let's go ahead and move it over to Cup. So we'll do the same thing. We'll do our main pick, and we'll do a Talladega underdog. Because if you know Talladega, it's underdog. Why is it storming outside? I'm sorry. This can go in, but like
that's probably why my internet
pouring in Fishers. All right, let's go ahead. Let's go one pick for your main pick and your underdog pick. My main pick this weekend going into Talladega, Alabama, is a little bit of a bold one as well. RFK Zone, Brad Keselowski. That is my pick.
Nice.
I think
I respect it.
Big Bad Brad can get it done. That's my big pick there.
I can see it.
But we have a lot of guys that are going to be making one. We got JJ Yaley in the 55, Gregson 62. It's going to be hard to qualify this weekend.
Yeah.
My underdog pick. It's the last winner we had at Talladega, Alabama. Bubba Wallace. I got two guys that haven't been having incredible seasons so far. I think Brad and Bubba, those are my picks this weekend. Sending this over to Jay. Jay, who you got?
All right. So my first pick for Talladega, I'm sticking true to my preseason predictions. And for the winner of the race, I have it selected as RFK's very own Brad Keselowski.
Hell yeah, man. Let's go.
So, Brad Keselowski's always good at Talladega for some reason, and you can never count him out there.
Nope.
And I think that's where he's going to get, under the new name RFK, their first win. So, yeah. But as my wild card or my Talladega dark horse, I got RFK's very own Chris Buescher.
Hey, nice.
Two very good super speedway
very
racers,
dominant at Daytona.
Yeah.
Very dominant at Daytona.
Yeah.
So
two very good super speed racers. So I got both RFK cars this weekend for my main and dark horse. So
I am going to go really far away from my preseason predictions. None of the two drivers I picked are in my preseason predictions. It could bite me in the butt, or it could be really good. First pick. His team has been really good, and so has he, but he has not gotten a win. I'm going Chase Elliott.
ooh, that's true. I can see that.
he's good at Talladega. He's good at Talladega.
I know. That's why I picked him. And then my wild card, Dega wild card pick. People forget he looked pretty good at Daytona, but I believe got wrecked out. I hope y'all are ready for some Baconators, because I'm going with the Wendy's machine of Noah Gragson.
Oh wow, okay.
It's a really, really wild card.
It is.
But
Hey, but that Beard Motorsport equipment, dude, back in like their prime, I mean, that 2019 season, it looked like that 62 was going to victory lane before saw the upside down event victory lane. Talladega.
Shoot, I mean, either way, I think what was the last season they stopped running competitively? Like 2021, technically.
No, technically they only ran one race last season,
Oh, okay. All right.
and they didn't technically make the 500 last season.
Okay, I don't know what I'm
I
thinking.
think the last year they were competitive, and the last year that they were time was like early 2000.
Oh, okay. Well, my fault.
But
was way
they
off there.
ran every super speedway race with Brendan Gaughan since like 2010.
Yeah, that's what I
So,
was
like,
talking about.
yeah.
The super speedways.
Yeah. I don't know for sure.
all I'm saying is there's something about my wild cards. We were talking about like how I've gotten 4 of my predictions for NASCAR right, and I think 2 or 3 of them were literally wild card picks.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Noah Gragson wins at Talladega. I want some flowers. I want a big celebration.
I don't blame you.
I can see
I
it.
don't know.
I mean, I could definitely see that happening. So I don't.
Once he said he was running a Wendy's car, I was like, I'm in. I want some
love
chicken
the paint
nuggets.
scheme. I just love
like-
the paint scheme.
But I think it's going to be an interesting weekend. Me and Jay are both picking Brad, who is officially top 30 in points. So this race could count towards him. But it's going to be a really interesting weekend at the Italian Grand Prix and at Talladega, Alabama. Go ahead and close this episode out. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Indy Boys Racing Podcast. We got a lot of content coming this next couple of weeks. Me, Jay, and Daniel are going to head out to the track. We're all going to hang out over there. You're going to see content on our TikTok page. You guys need to follow us on TikTok at Indy Boys Podcast. Also follow us on Twitter and Instagram, same handle at Indy Boys Podcast. Follow us all on our own personal social medias. All that are in the description down below. Signing off, Daniel Chaney and Justin Cox. My name is Tristan Grider. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. Have a good one. Peace.